The app is looking a lot better with pizza photos and menu entries. However, we want that menu to scroll. There are two ways we can do that: ScrollView and List. ScrollView does what it says and takes any view and scrolls it. So let's give that one a try. And here I am in front of the ForEach here. And all I need to do is encompass the ForEach in the ScrollView. And there's ScrollView. Take one of those brackets and put it after the ForEach. And you can see what happens on the side is all of a sudden we've got our header back. And if you take your finger and scroll and swipe, you can see that we actually do get all of our pizzas now. And we can see past the barbecue chicken like we could before, and see Huli and Hawaiian chicken as well. Now we can also scroll in other directions. We can do this instead of just vertical, which is the default. We can do this in a horizontal direction. So the way I would do that is just go over here and put it horizontal. And as you see now, I can scroll and it gives me all the space I need to put the whole description on there. And I can scroll all the way across on that description. Now notice though, we lose the vertical scrolling. I can't get past Chicago Deep Dish now. I've got the margarita, but the Chicago Deep Dish is gone. And I've lost a lot of the top part too. We can add a vertical scroll. So I'm going to do the ScrollView horizontal, and then inside the ScrollView horizontal, put a ScrollView vertical. And again, after the ForEach. Okay. Now I have my vertical scroll. And I have my horizontal scroll. And so I got a big scroll thing. You can see the scroll bars on the bottom telling you where you are. So let's do one more thing with ScrollView. And I'm going to do this again with the horizontal here. Is I'm going to get rid of all this. And I'm going to just leave the ScrollView vertical there for a moment. But I'm going to put the ScrollView horizontal like this. And I'll show you something interesting you can do. You can do an H stack. A ForEach again. Menu, item in, and inside of there, I'm just going to put an image, a thumbnail name. We'll make that resizable. Scale to fit. And I'm going to make the frame size max height of 40 and padding of 3. Now we have an error because we have too many closing braces. I'm just going to remove one of these. And that should clean up our code. And what you see here is you've got a very common use of a horizontal scroll view is that if you've got a horizontal selection menu, you can put a whole bunch of icons here and scroll past them so that you can see them all. All right, now let's go over to the rest of this where I have the ScrollView vertical, and let's talk about lists. ScrollView have their purposes, but for menus and other data, you're going to want to use a list instead. So let's go ahead and get rid of the ScrollView here, and we're going to get that error again, so I'm going to get rid of this. So we're back to this ForEach. Okay. And again, it's stuck like we had before because it's taking up too much space. The easiest way to use a list is list works identical to ForEach. Just change ForEach here to list. Hit return, and there you go. You've got a list. And so this is now scrolling here. You notice the image is a lot bigger, and it's also got a white background instead of the green background. And I still got this one here, but I can go through all my pizzas this way too. Now, you'll notice there might be like that white space on the bottom. That's a bug that you sometimes get in playgrounds. So if you go out and in again, you'll get back to where you want to be. And there you go. See? And there we go. Now we've got our list working. Now, there's more you can do with lists. This is just one way we can look at lists. Another way we can look at lists is to put the ForEach back here. And now encompass, like we did with the scroll view, the ForEach in a list. So I'm going to do the same thing I did before. Okay. And now we've got that version of a list. And you can see it works the same way. No big difference here. It's just doing the same thing we did before. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, this kind of list takes any kind of views. You can put more than just the ForEach views and just menu item views. From ForEach, I can only put menu item views. But in a list, I can put other things. For example, I can put text menu. And you can see it adds that to it. And I'm just going to put a font on it. Title. And we'll make it bold. And now I have this menu name here, so I can title to my list. And there's a lot more you can do with lists, and we'll get to those later. But for right now, we've got ourselves a nice list here. We've got a scroll view here. Both list and scroll view have their uses. Scroll view will be more often used for graphics or the side scrolling we have here. Most vertical scrolling views will be lists like we have here, as lists will have more features we'll come to later. If you have more data than you can show on one screen, you'll be either using scroll view or list to show it all.